The 2026 NBA draft class is shaping up to be one of the best draft classes we've had in recent years. So in today's video, I'm going over my second official mock draft of the 2026 NBA draft cycle. But before we get into the mock draft, if you enjoy the content, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. And now, let's jump into it. And starting things off with the first pick, we have the Sacramento Kings who select Darryn Peterson. And Peterson has been absolutely unstoppable when he's been healthy for Kansas, as he blends smooth shot creation with elite efficiency, and he elevates high on his jumpers and has the ability to score from all three levels. But injuries have limited his floor time, but the star flashes are undeniable when he's out there. And Sacramento right now seems to be fully embracing a reset and can't afford to overthink this selection. And if Peterson reaches his ceiling, he's a future all-NBA caliber guard and the franchise centerpiece the Kings have been searching for. And with the second pick, the Washington Wizards select Dybantsa out of BYU, and Dybantsa currently leads the nation in scoring at 24 points per game, and he thrives as a jumbo wing initiator with advanced footwork and has nice physical tools. His assist rate is nearly double that of Peterson's, and that is with his teammates only shooting 25% off of his pick and roll passes, which suggests he has even more playmaking upside at the next level. And Washington will have Trae Young and Anthony Davis back, who they just traded for next season. And suddenly, this team will have a chance to form a new big three with Dybantsa, alongside all of their other nice young pieces. And Dybantsa's scoring translation and defensive tools make him a high upside building block for a franchise ready to accelerate its rebuild and looks ready to contend next season. Up next, we have the Atlanta Hawks with the third pick, and they select Cameron Boozer out of Duke. And Boozer has dominated without having the flashy athleticism that you are used to seeing here at the top of the draft, as he wins with counters, footwork, strength, and has 3-level scoring. He hasn't had an off game since opening night and processes defenses quickly, making sharp passing reads. And Atlanta is armed with New Orleans' pick here and enters a new era post Trae Young. So with this selection, they had a polished inside-out scorer. And while there are questions surrounding his defensive ceiling, Boozer's production and winning pedigree definitely stand out, and his blend of brute strength and finesse gives the Hawks a foundational forward to help define their next chapter. With the fourth pick in this mock draft, the Indiana Pacers select Keaton Wagler out of Illinois, and Wagler has absolutely exploded up draft boards after multiple 30-plus performances, including a 46-point eruption at Purdue. And at 6'6", he operates as a lead guard, changing speeds and converting inside and drilling jumpers at a 43.7% clip from three, which is the best mark in the Big Ten, even as a freshman. And Indiana was a game away from the finals last season and awaits Tyrese Halliburton's return, so Wagler's shooting and positional size make him an ideal fit. Even though he might not be the top 4 prospect that you would expect, he offers that secondary creation and floor spacing for a team looking to jump right back into contention next season. And the Brooklyn Nets have the 5th pick, and they select Caleb Wilson, who drops in this mock draft. And Wilson combines explosive athleticism with evolving skill set, shooting 61% on post-ups and registering an 18% assist rate as a forward. He thrives in transition, finishes with force, and flashes a nice playmaking touch as well. And he has a broken hand right now, which clouds his immediate outlook, but the long-term projection remains strong, and he should be back before the NCAA tournament. And Brooklyn loaded up on guards last year, so in this draft, they now target a potential franchise cornerstone in Wilson, and his ability to impact both ends as a play finisher and an emerging creator makes him worth the gamble for a Nets team that's stockpiling upside with their young assets. And next, with the 6th pick, the Utah Jazz selects Kingston Flemings, and Flemings has built a reputation for his poise and late-game shot-making at Houston, which was highlighted the most by his 42-point outing against Texas Tech earlier in the year. And he converts over 47.5% of his 2-point jumpers and pairs offensive pop with an elite defensive effort. And Utah right now looks to be reshaping its defense after trading for Jaren Jackson Jr. and with the return of Walker Kessler in the front court next season. So adding Fleming strengthens that identity while giving the Jazz a mature guard who can score, facilitate, and compete on both ends of the floor. And he profiles as the glue piece capable of accelerating Utah's push back towards relevance. With the 7th pick, the Dallas Mavericks select Mikel Brown Jr., and Brown's 45-point explosion for Louisville a few weeks ago really showcased his deep-range shot making and the fearless rhythm that he can get in at times. And though he may be streaky and sometimes inefficient, he owns a 31.5 assist percentage, proving he's more than just a microwave scorer. And Dallas is currently building around Cooper Flagg after their major roster shifts, which they traded Luka Doncic away a few seasons ago, and they need another creator who can shoulder some of that scoring pressure, and Brown fits that mold exactly. His pacing, pull-up ability, and playmaking from either guard spot offer star flashes, and if he finds consistency, which I think he will, this pick could redefine the Mavericks' offensive ceiling moving forward. And up next with the 8th pick is the Memphis Grizzlies, and they select Darius Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas, and Acuff has been steady and efficient for the Razorbacks, balancing scoring with playmaking while controlling the tempo. He has the ability to hit pull-ups, spot-ups, and floaters with precision, and thrives both in transition and in late-game situations. And Memphis right now seems to be pivoting into a new direction after their recent roster turnover and uncertainty around their core, and Acuff's creativity and three-level scoring give the Grizzlies a potential centerpiece guard if they decide to move away from Ja Morant. So his ability to quarterback an offense and take over stretches fits perfectly for a franchise reestablishing its identity. And with the 9th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select Nate Ament, and Ament is a 6'10 forward who is converting 46.5% of his mid-range jumpers and 44% of his pull-ups while getting to the line over 7 times per game. And he's a high-risk, high-reward prospect out of Tennessee that has guard-like skills and is developing physically. And with uncertainty surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo's future with Milwaukee, with this pick, the Bucks would be swinging on upside. An immense shooting touch and defensive potential make him an intriguing long-term play for Milwaukee, and if he continues progressing like he has through the first year in college basketball, he could anchor the Bucks front court for the next era. Next, at the 10th pick, the Chicago Bulls select Jaden Quaintance, and Quaintance is a springy, versatile defender with rim-protecting instincts and perimeter mobility. Though injuries have limited him this season with Kentucky, his long-term ceiling remains enticing, and Chicago is deep into a rebuild after major trade deadline moves and can afford patience with this one, and Quainton's defensive motor and flashes of offensive touch make him a developmental bet worth taking, and if he regains full health and refines his skill set a bit, he could become the defensive anchor the Bulls build around in this new chapter. And with the 11th pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Michigan forward Yaxel Lindeborg, and Lindeborg is the definition of a plug-and-play forward as he can finish plays, keeps the ball moving, and now he's impacting games defensively with better screen navigation, movement in space, and weak side rim protection. And the jumper still isn't reliable, although he has shown some promise there, and his age definitely caps the upside conversation from NBA teams, but the impact he has on the game is real, and San Antonio has taken a big leap into contention this season and recently released Jeremy Sohan, opening a lane for a tough, versatile, dirty work four, and Lindeborg would be that and brings defensive versatility and connective play that really would fit this win now roster. The Charlotte Hornets have the 12th pick in this mock draft, and they select Koa Peat out of Arizona, and Peat plays to his strengths as he's a physical finisher who has mid-range touch, attacks closeouts, and creates space into follow-away jumpers. But the questions are clear as he has a limited three-point range and is not a wing creator, and it's still unclear what his defensive ceiling is, but he's also the best player on what seems to be like one of the best teams in all of college basketball, who has extreme toughness and a high IQ, and Charlotte seems to have shifted their roster building approach toward proven winners, and it seems to be paying off right now, and Koa Peat would fit that mold exactly as he's strong, dependable, and is ready to contribute without needing a long runway to find his role. With the 13th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Chris Sinak Jr. out of Houston, and although some may see this as a reach, Sinak has had steady growth month over month, and the tools pop as he has nice three-point shooting ability, rebounding instincts, and athletic finishing as a 6'11 big, and the shot-making confidence has carried through the month of February, and his archetype is clean as a stretch big who provides interior activity and easy buckets. And Oklahoma City has injury concerns in the front court with Thomas Sorber, who they drafted last season, and Isaiah Hartenstein is likely gone after this season, so there is some uncertainty regarding long-term depth down low for the Thunder, so Sanak would give them insurance there and lineup flexibility, including potential minutes alongside other bigs thanks to his floor spacing ability. The Portland Trailblazers have the 14th pick and they select Braylon Mullins, and Mullins' three-point percentage won't scare anyone off because the eye test is undeniable for this guy, as he has deep range, quick release, and clean footwork with shot making that can happen off movement as well, and he has enough athleticism, IQ, and toughness to impact both ends of the floor. Plus he can attack closeouts and score efficiently on the inside, which has been shown there at UConn in his first season. And Portland's backcourt definitely is crowded with Damian Lillard returning next season and multiple guards already in place, so wing shooting will become a priority for them, and Mullen fits this as a perimeter weapon who can space the floor and punish defensive rotations immediately. With the 15th pick, the Miami Heat select LeBaron Jr. out of Alabama, and Philon's breakout this season as a sophomore is rooted in real improvements, as he's making over 2 threes per game, finishing with more craft, and turning touch shots into points with controlled footwork. And the catch and shoot game has been the backbone, even if the pull-up numbers lag behind a bit, but Miami needs more offense in the backcourt, and specifically a point guard, and Philon's skill set slides into that gap. The roster already has a defensive-minded lead guard soaking up minutes, so adding a more shot-making guard with the green light fits the current needs and team identity there in Miami. And next, with the 16th pick, the Golden State Warriors select Thomas Hauck, and Hauck's case is about fit here, as he's a 6'9" forward who has the ability to shoot, finishes with athletic touch, and a high IQ hustle that screams plug and play. He keeps knocking down threes, running the floor, attacking gaps, and brings defensive energy, and Golden State is in full win now mode right now, and they'll value a piece that can help right away rather than a long-term project as they've tried in years past. And Hauck has already shown he can thrive in high leverage moments and contribute as both a slasher and a rebounder, and he's the type of functional forward who keeps winning possessions going, and I think this would be the perfect for the Warriors. The Memphis Grizzlies select Hans Steinbach with the 17th pick, and Steinbach's calling card is reliable interior production, as he has nice size, soft hands, post scoring, and offensive rebounding capabilities. And what separates him from similar bigs in this class are the flashes with face-up footwork, transition athleticism, and hints of a three-point jumper. The concern though is the defensive upside, as he blocks under 1 shot per game, so the ceiling isn't built on rim protection right now, but Memphis is trying to replace lost frontcourt production after trading away Jaren Jackson Jr. So Steinbach offers a steady offensive big who can clean up possessions, score on the interior, and give the Grizzlies needed structure in the paint. The Oklahoma City Thunder are back with the 18th pick, and then this time they select a guard in Braden Burries out of Arizona, and Burries has steadily built momentum after a slow start to his freshman season with the Wildcats, as he is winning with efficient, simple scoring. He's deadly in ball screens, gets downhill, and pulls up in the mid-range, and he's been excellent attacking closeouts and transition lanes. He doesn't need flashy self-creation, as he just finds scoring angles and uses his frame to shield defenders, and Oklahoma City has a roster that forces tough choices with its guard depth, and Burries profiles as a clean replacement type for them, as he has the catch and shoot utility with extra scoring counters when a defense overplays that could be perfect there in OKC. With the 19th pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Patrick Ngumba from Duke, and Ngumba's pitch isn't necessarily his box score dominance, it's his instincts, processing, and the touch that he brings at the center position. He's a solid passer who facilitates from the inside the defense, quickly spotting cutters and moving the ball to shooters, and add in appealing physical tools, his finishing ability and rim protection, and the flashes of range that we've seen this season, and you get a big who can fill multiple utility roles. And Charlotte still needs some frontcourt depth and has leaned into players who make teams function better, and Ngumba fits that theme, as he's smart, connective, and capable of anchoring possessions with quick decisions and strong interior presence. With the 20th pick, the Toronto Raptors select Christian Anderson out of Texas Tech, and Anderson has emerged as one of the premier shooters in this class as a sophomore, as he's hitting 44% on high volume from 3 and has a 33.5 assist percentage, which signals real passing IQ within a structured offense. He's not a flashy creator by any means, and his frame limits defensive impact, but Toronto has the size and defensive support already in place to mask that, and what they need is a guard who can ease the burden as a scorer and a decision maker, especially in pick and roll settings, and Anderson's spacing and simple correct reads make him an easy fit to raise this offense's floor. Next, at the 21st pick, the Detroit Pistons select Cameron Carr out of Baylor, and Carr really feels like a steal here for me, as he is a high release shooter at 41.5% from 3, who also brings some real athletic pop and surprising defensive activity with 31 blocks already on the season at 6'5", and the shot making looks sustainable, and his physical tools make the projection safe in my opinion. And Detroit, sitting at the top of the East right now, still needs more reliable spacing to support its winning formula around Cade Cunningham, and Carr supplies exactly that while adding transition finishing and defensive playmaking flashes, and if the shooting holds at the next level, he's the type of wing who can rise quickly in a rotation. The Los Angeles Lakers have the 22nd pick, and they select Isaiah Evans out of Duke, and Evans is an aggressive movement shooter with solid size, and the role would be crystal clear here, as he would bring off-ball shot making, floor spacing, and complementary perimeter firepower for the Lakers. And efficiency has been up and down this season because the attempts have been difficult, but he can hit shots off screens, off the catch, and off the bounce, and he also competes defensively even with the limitations that he has on that end of the floor. And the Lakers' outlook hinges on their stars and the direction of the roster, but one need stays constant, and that's wing shooting around Luka Doncic, and Evans gives them a clean spacer who fits next to a heliocentric creator like Luka. And next, with the 23rd pick, the Atlanta Hawks select Bennett Sturtz out of Iowa, and Sturtz creates separation with change of speed, ball handling, and footwork, and he can still make tough shots when defenders stay attached to him. He also adds some off-ball value with clever cuts that turn into points, and the age and context create questions as he's been with the same coach across multiple stops, and is definitely one of the older players in the draft, but the skill is real here, and Atlanta is adjusting to the post-Trae Young era and will need more steady offense and guard creation by committee, and Sturtz fits as a poised, crafty scorer who can generate looks without needing that elite burst. With the 24th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select Amari Allen out of Alabama, and Allen projects as a versatile two-way wing who plays within the flow of an offense and can make quick decisions, makes the extra pass, and has smart closeout attacks. His jumper also looks smooth and repeatable as a catch-and-shoot threat, and he's flashed downhill finishing through contact with a few dribbles. Defensively, he offers wing forward versatility, tools, and steady effort with clear areas to tighten like cleaner footwork, more discipline, and some added strength. But Philadelphia would benefit from low usage utility players who can do the small things around their star-driven offense, and Allen's IQ and spacing profile fits that perfectly. Up next at the 25th pick, the Denver Nuggets select Michigan center Ade Mara, and Mara's production has swung on a loaded front court there at Michigan, but the evaluation starts with his 7'3" frame and what it creates, as there are nice finishing windows, passing angles, and rim protection that comes with it, and Michigan uses him as a playmaking hub, hitting cutters over the top, but the negatives are the turnovers and a poor free throw percentage. But Denver can live with that in a reduced role that he would have behind Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets have long searched for stability in those non-Nikola Jokic minutes, especially at the backup center spot, and Mara offers a unique offensive look, interior defense, and long-term upside as a bench anchor for them. With the 26th pick, the New York Knicks select Tunde Yesufu out of Baylor, and Yesufu consistently produces through his physical tools of driving, transition finishing, offensive rebounding, and defensive playmaking, even when the shot at time comes and goes. But the flashes there are promising, including a 37-point eruption earlier in the year, and the swing skill is clear that if the three ball becomes more reliable, his value in this draft class spikes. New York is already in a contending window right now, so a longer developmental timeline is acceptable from Yesufu, and he would give them an athletic wing body with real energy and play finishing, and if the perimeter shot stabilizes like I think it will, he becomes a serious rotation piece for the Knicks. The Boston Celtics come in with the 27th pick, and in this one, they select Morez Johnson Jr. out of Michigan, and Johnson brings paint activity, toughness, and effort night in and night out, and he's an energy big who complements other front court styles well. He's thriving on interior scoring and movement at Michigan, converting 68% on 2-point shots, and his defensive versatility has become more believable during the Wolverines' dominant season. And Boston's front court has uncertainty with expiring pieces like Nikola Vucevic, who they just traded for, and a need for reliable physicality, especially with a long-term focus on contending with Jason Tatum returns fully healthy. And Johnson won't be for everyone in this draft, but for a Celtics team that values role clarity, his rebounding, interior presence, and effort should translate to immediate usefulness for the Celtics. With the 28th pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Dalen Swain out of Texas, and Swain is another emerging prospect and is producing through ball handling, athleticism, and paint touches, and he's now up to nearly 18 points per game for the Longhorns, while also making plays defensively. The jumper remains shaky though for the third-year wing, but the connective value stands out as he can get to his spots, finish at the rim, pass to others, and disrupt on the perimeter. And Cleveland has moved key wing defenders recently and now lacks depth at the small forward spot, and Swain fits as a defensive playmaker who can jump passing lanes, handle tough wing assignments, and keep the offense flowing with the right reads, even if he's not a primary scorer for them. Next at the 29th pick is the Dallas Mavericks, and they select Kansas center Flory Badunga, and Badunga really brings translatable traits to the next level as he has monster rim protection, he's elite at finishing, and has a high motor with activity as a roll man, with opponents shooting just 27% against him around the basket. And he's already had statement moments, including a huge performance recently against the top-ranked Arizona Wildcats, and he's shown more comfort putting the ball down on the floor and beating his man to the rim. And right now, we all know Dallas is building around Cooper Flagg and already added perimeter creation earlier in this round, but now they add a defensive anchor type, and Badunga gives them vertical spacing, paint deterrence, and a physical identity shift that can win playoff possessions for them. And finally, with the 30th pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Tyler Tanner out of Vanderbilt, and Tanner would fill a clear need for the Timberwolves, and that's point guard play, while bringing an intriguing outlier profile for an undersized guard. He creates advantages with quick ball handling and speed, turning the corner in both open floor and half-court settings to generate finishes and quality looks for his teammates. And he's also shot it well from 3 this year and at the free throw line, and that shooting must hold to quiet the skepticism about him as a smaller guard. But what makes Tanner different is the athletic activity from his size, as he has 16 dunks and 12 blocks this season already, which suggests his size won't define him at the next level, and Minnesota has length and defense to cover around him, so Tanner should have the ability to focus on the offensive side of things. But that wraps it up for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on my second official 2026 NBA mock draft in the comments down below. Was there someone that you would have taken way higher or way lower, or was there someone I didn't include? Also, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.